Monday of 2018, the last day of the year. And yes, as many look forward to ushering in 2019, we have many stories coming your way. I'll be joined within the bulletin by Silas Apollo. He's at the Milimani Law Court, as well as Sharon Baranga. She is at the TSC headquarters, and she's following up, of course, on the latest on whether the strike is still on. She'll be giving us an update on this shortly. Silas Apollo, as we understand at the moment, the latest is that the High Court has stopped the case against Professor Tom Ojenda, the lawyer who is facing charges apparently over an 89 million shilling fraud case. What do you have?
Yes, Mark, indeed. Of course, the High Court today has issued conservative orders, of course, stopping the criminal prosecutions or any other prosecution against senior counsel, of course, members of and a member of the Judicial Service Commission, Professor Tom Ojenda, who, of course, the Director of Public Prosecution, Odin Haji, had preferred charges against. Of course, the charges are preferred by the DPP were in relation to the legal fees that Ojenda is said to have been paid by the Mumias company, of course, the Troubled Sugar Mumias company. The contention today, of course, the issue, what was happening today is that Ojenda was supposed to take plea before the magistrate court, of course, in relation to those charges. But his lawyers were led by Nelson Harvey, of course, alongside James Orengo, Okongo Mogeni, and other senior counsels, of course, moved to the High Court in the High Court led by the High Court of Justice, Chachamwit, of course, to ask for conservatory orders. Their grounds were that some of the charges that were being raised or that we level against senior counsel Tom Ojenda, of course, were charges really in relation to a case, of course, which is ongoing at the Court of Appeal. And so the DPP, of course, could be in violation of some of the independence of the court, of course, also in regards to that case. Of course, they're also arguing that the matter in which Ojenda is being charged, which is in relation to the legal fees, is a matter between a client and a lawyer. And so it cannot be a subject of a criminal proceedings, or it cannot be a subject of a charge against a lawyer in court. And of course, they're arguing that 6 of the charges, of course, level against Professor Ojenda are in relation to the legal fees that he was paid, which, according to them, do not hold any ground. Of course, they also wanted the judge to give conservatory orders, of course, pending the determination, of course, the hearing of that petition that they filed today, which Chachamwita, of course, are set for February 18th. Besides that, of course, there is also the Court of Appeal issue, which they also wanted to be determined. So all these matters are set to be determined on 18th of February. But as it now stands, of course, all the charges of all the prosecutions of all the prosecution of Professor Ojenda has been temporarily suspended until the 18th of February, when this case will be brought back to court for determination. Back to you, Mark.
Well, I'm sure his team representing him is happy about that, as well as the professor. We'll see what becomes of it. LSK has also questioned the manner in which he was arrested on a Friday, and seeing whether his legal rights were, that they didn't observe his legal rights, holding him for longer than they should. Well, the DPP sounds or feels very confident with the charges that he has, saying that one of the former partners of Professor Ojenda will be in defense against him, will be actually giving some evidence against him. Well, we'll see what happens to this from February 18th. Now, it is 3 days to the set for the schools opening, but will they really open? That's a big question many parents are asking, as well as the kids. This informs the negotiations that are ongoing at the Teachers Service Commission offices in Nairobi ahead of another meeting later in the day. Sharon Baranga is in Upper Hill, where the closed-door meeting is ongoing, and gives us an update. Sharon, any word on whether there is a breakthrough? Will we see schools opening in January?
Thank you, Mark. For the better part of the morning, the top leadership of the Teacher Service Commission and the Conciliation Committee, appointed by the Cabinet Secretary of Labour, Ukuru Yatani, have been having a meeting to discuss some of the issues brought forth by the Kenya National Union of Teachers that prompted them to call for a strike beginning 3rd January, a day that learners should be reporting back to school for first term. Now, some of the issues that the NAT once addressed is teacher promotions, delocalization or transfers, and performance contracting system, teachers professional development modules. These are some of the issues that the Secretary General Wilson Sossion pointed out, saying that they want these issues addressed before they can call off the strike officially. They say now, this, unlike other previous years where they've been calling for a strike with regards to salary increment, this time round they want these issues, these 4 issues are addressed before they can call off the strike. Now TSC yesterday announced that they're planning to bring back around 290,000 teachers who can take over once the teachers go for a strike and the learners left without teachers who are going to teach them. Other than that, yesterday NAT issued a circular where a circular that was addressed to all the executive secretaries, prompting them to ensure that no teacher is allowed, no teacher reports to school from 3rd January. Now the Conciliation Committee met with NAT leadership on Saturday, and they've been meeting with the TSC this morning, and they're also going to meet with the minister. We are also expecting them to meet at the Ministry of Labour, and from there we're going to know where the whole issue, whether the whole issue is going to be addressed before learners report to school this week. Back to you, Mark.
Sharon Baranga, thank you for that update. Well, it's not clear whether it will be suspended. That is a strike notice, but we'll see after the second meeting that is expected to be around about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm sure you'll be keeping tabs on that and will be giving us the update on the same. To other matters, the Inspector General of Police, Joseph Boynet, has urged members of the Turkana and Pokot communities to maintain peace. He has also sent a stern warning to bandits engaging in renewed cases of cattle rustling. The security forces are well equipped to deal with them. Boynet reiterated the importance of peace in the development of a prosperous North Frontier.
The presence of the head of the police service was received with great excitement by locals, painting the picture of the importance of peace in an area that has in the past witnessed anything but that. The memories of the unpleasant past still festering some pain that is loudly communicated by suggestions by local leaders on how to deal with the criminal elements still living amongst them.
Ninajua Wapokot walitambua suspects pande ile, Waturkana walitambua suspects pande hii. Inspector General ikabaki peke yake, maofisa wako wafuatilia hawa, wafanye investigation na wafanye arrest. Nafikiri hiyo jambo ndio muhimu zaidi saa hii. Kwa maana tusipokamata wao, itafanya majangili wengine wafanye jambo kama hilo tena, wakijua hakuna mtu atawafuata kuwakamata.
Mtu ambaye ameua mtoto, ako na bunduki, utakamata huyo mtu aje? Kufikia karibu ameko. Hata nyinyi officer semeni ukweli, mtakamata aje? Hiyo mtu utakamata mpaka urestrain, uende uchukue kama ameicha. Ndio naambia ndio nimekamata. That is one way ya kuarrest hiyo mtu.
Speaking at Kakongu village in Turkana South Sub-County during the 4th peace celebrations that brought together elected leaders, heads of security agencies and peace committees from Turkana and West Pokot counties, area leaders urged the Inspector General to adopt stringent measures to protect the hard-earned peace in the area.
Tuache vile Mama County alisema, wakati wengine wanafanya mambo ya stock exchange huko Nairobi, wanafanya biashara nzuri, sisi bado tunaibiana ng'ombe mbuzi moja, ng'ombe mbili na kupeleka maendeleo ya kaunti yetu nyuma.
The security situation in Turkana East and TRT remains a concern, to the IG's own admission, as he expressed his commitment in championing for the area's peace and stability.
We still have criminals here and there, but those are the individuals we have given firm instructions to officers that we deal with them very firmly, so that the peace that has prevailed between these two communities becomes sustained.
Politicians have been urged to address political issues cautiously. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
From security concerns to that of the health delivery in the county-level operations at Ahero Sub-County Hospital are at a risk of serious inefficiency as there is a shortage of medical staff. The medics have urged the government to address the shortage of medical staff in Kisumu County at large. Speaking after receiving donations from nominated Senator Rose Nyamunga, Ahero Sub-County Hospital Nursing Director Triza Okiri expressed her concern about the long hours that medical personnel have to work to meet the shortage. Okiri expressed her appreciation for the donations that she says will go a long way to providing better healthcare services to the locals.
We have 3 doctors only. We are able to manage the hospital. We wish that we could get more of the staffing, that's health personnel, deployed to cover the 24-hour workload, which is increasing day by day.
Gun regulation in the country is improperly managed. This is according to the chairman of the National Gun Owners Association of Kenya, Anthony Wahome, who has condemned the current handling of the regulation, saying it lacks proficiency. Wahome, however, lauded efforts of digitizing records of gun holders, stating it as an accountable move.
It was during the end-year shooting competition in Kiambu County, bringing together members of the National Gun Owners Association of Kenya, that the chairman, Anthony Wahome, expressed his reservations with the Firearms Vetting Board in regards to mechanisms in gun regulations.
They are targeting both those with fake licenses and those with legitimate licenses the same way. And we are saying, there can be a better approach to that.
NGAO leadership has emphasized that its members are efficiently trained on the safe use of firearms and should therefore be handled as such by the government.
We've always been championing to find the way that we can be able to use our firearms in a safe manner. Kenya has always had a history where they've been saying that people are cowboys or people have been misusing their firearms. In Gao, Kenya, we are people who bring in all the licensed firearm holders when they register with us. We ensure that they have got sufficient training.
In November 2018, all licensed gun holders were required to get new licenses after the digitization of the firearm records. Those who failed to get the new licenses were considered to be holding illegal guns. Melmiendo, NTV.
As the world prepares to step in the new year, a dairy farmer in Olkalau is counting losses over 700,000 shillings after a gang of thieves sneaked into his compound at night and made away with 6 cows. The thugs then slaughtered the cows in the nearby bushes before making away with the meat. Lilian Kiare with more.
These residents of Olkalau woke up to 6 cows having gone missing. Their hopes to find the livestock was met by the unfortunate reality that is carcasses.
Sasa wakati niliamka asubuhi nikakosa ng'ombe hakuna. Sasa ndio tukaendelea kutafuta, ndio nikapata moja saa 12 nataka 10 hivi. Na hizo zingine sasa nimeuliwa.
Gilbert Njoroge, who owns the dairy cows, has his suspicions of when the incident occurred.
Nafikiria hao wezi walikuja hapa kama mwendo wa kutokea saa 5, saa 6 around there au saa 7. Manake wao kwa kawaida uchinja wakati mwezi ung'ang'aa.
What may have been his intuition kept Njoroge tossing and turning in bed through the night.
Nilikuwa na kusikia kama kuna kitu kinafanyika, lakini hatukuweza kujua ni nini. Hata mimi mwenyewe kichwa kikaanza kuniuma na sikulala.
He says his losses ran to over 720,000 shillings, which he hoped to cash in on after the sales of the cows.
Zilikuwa ng'ombe 7, lakini mmoja walikata miguu na hizo zingine 6 walichinja. Kwa kawaida estimate yangu kila moja ni shilingi 120,000 kila moja. Na zote 6 zitakuwa pesa ngapi?
The incident has left the residents distraught, and they're now calling upon the government to stop the practice of transporting meat at night to reduce such cases. Lilian Kiarie, NTV.
Political leaders from Western Kenya and affiliated to Jubilee Party have condemned the utterance by the party's vice chairman, David Murathe, on the said pact to have Deputy President William Ruto become president in 2022. Speaking during an end-year party organized by Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka in Madera area in Kimilili, they called for fresh Jubilee elections to rid of what they termed as indisciplined party officials. They also showed solidarity in ensuring that the deputy president takes the top job in the next general elections.
Kazi yetu ni siasa. Na kama mtu amekosa discipline kwa siasa kama Murathe, lazima tumuelezee kwa ukweli ya kwamba tabia yake ni mbaya. Si kusema ati yeye ni chair, vice chair ya Jubilee. Hata mimi ni mimi ni chair ya Bungoma County. Na hata hatukufanya election sawa sawa. Hata hiyo kiti alipata tu. Tunataka kufanya election mzuri yenyewe na tumtoe na tutupe nje.
Lakini kuna mkono mwingine kwa chama ya Jubilee anaitwa David Murathe. He must respect deputy president because deputy president ni boss wake. Sawa sawa.
Mimi niko kwa naibu ya rais kwa bedroom hapo katikati hapo. Mimi sasa nikienda kwake sihitaji ati kupiga simu tunakuja. Mimi nikifika hapo akijua ni mimi anafungua na ingia.
Wenye wanatuleta sisi pesa kila mwezi kulipa kwa ofisi. Saizi anasema hana deni ya Mheshimiwa Ruto. Nataka nimkemee kwamba ashindwe. Wako na deni ya Ruto ya 2022. Na lazima Mheshimiwa Ruto akuwe president wa nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Residents from Kipsongo, Shanti and Matisi slums in Kitale town are calling on the government to set up a kitty to help them start businesses to boost their income. This is after the county and the national governments allegedly failed to support them. Officials say they came together after the 2007 post-election violence as they sought to raise funds to build houses for the members and ensure better living standards. The residents say that despite the group assisting them secure funds from the government, it has helped them start income-generating projects that have changed their life despite living in the slums.
Nashukuru kwa ajili mimi mwenyewe singeweza hata mtoto hangesoma, lakini kikundi imefanya mtoto wangu amesoma. Na kitu yenye ningeomba county ama government ingetusaidia ituenue kwa ajili kuna pesa yenye iko kwa county.
Kikundi hiki cha Kipshamati CBO kilianza kwa uchache na kwa sasa mahali ambako tumefika tunatoa ile dhana ya kusema kwamba ni vikundi vya matanga ya kusaidiana wakati wa matanga. Hiki ni kikundi cha maendeleo.
Kufika kama mwezi wa pili tutakuwa na kama 1.5 million. Kwa zingine tutauliza wanachama kama wanaweza kupata ama tutauliza benki kama inaweza kutusaidia. Tuanzie hapo. Na ikiwa serikali inajua tuko, hiyo ni kitu kidogo, inaweza weka mkono yake ndani ili saidie hii jamii.
Kilifi South MP Ken Chonga has warned his Kilifi North counterpart Owen Baya against meddling in matters of his constituency. Chonga urged Baya to stick to his constituency and leave other leaders to serve their people. He was speaking at his Silala home in Chonyi when he issued checks worth 5.8 million shillings, beg your pardon, now would be breaking news if it was billion shillings, to 198 students who have been called to join national schools from the area.
Mimi siasa za bei duni sina haja nazo. Ninajua kabisa zilitoka katika kwa hawa viongozi wao, mmoja wao. Na mheshimiwa Owen kule akatamka ya kwamba hata Ken Chonga haonekani kwao. Mimi ninashindwa tatizo la Owen Baya ni nini? Yeye alichaguliwa Kilifi North. Mimi niko Kilifi South. Mambo ya Kilifi South ni ya Kilifi South wala si ya Kilifi North. Maanake yale ambayo tumeyafanya yanajulikana na yametajwa hapo. Kama ni madarasa tumejenga, kama ni madawati tumepeleka, kama ni watoto hata ndio hawa tunawapeleka. Haya si maendeleo.
Controversial Malindi pastor Paul Mackenzie has warned politicians against inciting the public against his church. Mackenzie claims that he has been receiving threats and intimidation from area MP Aisha Jumwa and some MCAs. Jumwa had threatened to rally the public to storm the church over claims of radical teachings that have left many school-going children or has led to them abandoning their learning. Mackenzie says he will take action against Jumwa and other politicians whom he had written to demand an explanation on their motive. In September last year, a video clip of children and between 6 to 17 years renouncing education went viral on social media, leading to public outcry and an arrest which later saw him being released on 500,000 shillings bail.
Anastahili kwanza aangalie maswala ya kisheria. Aache kuchukua mambo kisiasa. Mambo ya Biblia na mahubiri sio mambo yanayoendeshwa kisiasa. Mahubiri na siasa ni vitu viwili tofauti. Ni sawa na mafuta na maji.
The much-anticipated New Year concert by the Wasafi Records is set to rock Nairobians tonight at Uhuru Gardens. The crew, led by Tanzanian pop star Diamond Platnumz, will be performing alongside Jamaican Grammy Award-winning reggae band Morgan Heritage. Despite the performance ban in Tanzania, Wasafi has already attracted revelers with the hope that they will perform before up to 30,000 people.
Kushirikiana na watu vizuri, kuwa na upendo kwa kila mtu, na kufanya kazi kwa bidii na kuwa loyal ndio kitu kinachosaidia. Kwa sababu at the end of the day, mbali na kukuza entertainment yetu ya East Africa, lakini pia kumbuka ni watu wanaacha shughuli zao, wanaacha watoto, taka pia wapate riziki pia waweze familia kula. Na Kenya napapenda, mimi naona Kenya kama nyumbani kwetu. Hisi kama Kenya wananipenda sana pengine kuliko home. Na of course natamani sana kuhamia Kenya na pengine siku nitahamia.
Let's get into the sports with Warode Kiru.
Yes, Mark, it is time to play on NTV at 1 shortly.
Niaje. Want to invest?
I am Warote Kiru, and for the past 4 decades, the Umami Grounds in Nairobi's Ziwani Estate has hosted the annual off-season football tournament, Koth Biro. The grounds are part of Kenyan football folklore, with many footballers telling of tales, playing at the grounds in the mud and also in the dust. However, this year's edition may be the last one to feature the rugged conditions, as according to Koth Biro organizers, Nairobi County Governor Mike Mbovi Sonko has pledged to rehabilitate the grounds with artificial turf. It remains to be seen whether this pledge will be fulfilled or it will join many others made by politicians over the years, most recently by former Starehe MP Maina Kamanda.
When it's raining, which always is in November, this place turns into a swamp. And then when it dries, now it's a desert. And the players have been playing like that for 40 years. But changes come, you know, things change. So we are working with the county government. Honorable Mike Sonko was here last year, and he talked about rehabilitating these grounds. And he started with Dandora, then they have gone to Kiumbwini, and we're expecting him on the 5th during the finals to come here and then set off the agenda for reconstructing this ground. We are looking at an artificial turf, and then probably we have also terraces.
And that final on Saturday will be between Githurai and Cinema from Jericho. And the Baragoi Stadium in Samburu County played host to a 5-day, 17-team football tournament that sought to enhance cohesion and integration among communities living in that area. The Football for Peace tournament was the brainchild of Samburu North MP Musa Alois Lento Imaga. And speaking on the sidelines of the tournament, the lawmaker spoke of plans to introduce a marathon for the warriors from the communities in the region into the sporting festival. As regards security, the MP urged police to not only recover stolen cattle, but also arrest and prosecute those who steal. The winning team was from Bendera in Baragoi village, and it got 30,000 shillings as well as uniform.
Baragoi imekuwa na mambo yake. Leo naamka asubuhi iko mzuri, kesho kuna vita. So sisi tu kama ofisi ya FKF Samburu Sub Branch tunashukuru sana mjumbe wetu wa Samburu North kwa kupanga tournament hii ya amani.
Kabla sote ambaye siko hapa na ninafuraha kwamba wameshanganyikana. Inaleta cohesion na integration na peace na development pia.
Now, something else that football does bring is good cheer. And this festive period, Manchester United fans have had plenty of that.
In Kakamega, where former Senator Boni Khalwale had organized a bullfighting event.
Nataka niwaulize wanasiasa wenzangu ya kwamba mashindano kama tunataka kuweka Kenya ya amani, Kenya ya umoja, siasa iwe ni mashindano ya chama, sio mashindano ya kabila. Mashindano iwe ni mashindano ya sera, sio mashindano ya personalities. Na tukishindana tuwe watu wa demokrasia, asiyekubali kushindwa. Kama wewe una participate kwa uchaguzi ili tuweze kuwa na amani Kenya, number 1, lazima mashindano isiwe ya kikabila, iwe ni ya chama. Number 2, mashindano isiwe ya kibinafsi ama personalities, iwe ni mashindano ya sera. Na number 3, tuwe wanademokrasia. Ukishindwa, ngojea siku ingine. You can sing the style of reggae, you can sing reggae in another forum, lakini no one can stop reggae. Wasiwe ya kwamba hiyo reggae tutaimba na 2022 tutaendelea kuimba na hata 2022 tutaendelea kuimba mpaka Kenya iendelee kuwa a society of equality, that every Kenyan will not be judged by the tribe they come from, but by the content of their character.
And that's that for NTV News at 1, but a lot to expect on this last day of 2018, as well as people will be looking forward to ushering in the new year. We have a lot of live events that we'll be covering. The Wasafi concert, of course, that we showed you a bit of with some of the artists speaking. That is Diamond Platinum's, and as well as Morgan Heritage will be performing at Uhuru Gardens this evening. Expected to have 30,000 people in attendance, and you're very much welcome to attend. But we'll also have that bit of the action on that live, just to show you what's going on and what people are doing here in Nairobi, as well as Jesus Teaching Ministries. They will have, of course, a service to usher in the new year, as is practiced in most of the churches in around the country, actually. And yes, from 5 to 6 p.m, the Heat, our entertainment program, will be live this evening with some action. Yes, we'll show you what is happening, as well as Uhuru Gardens as they set up for that, and a Churchill Show special edition that we will have this evening from around 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. A lot to look forward to as people say Happy New Year. 2019 arrives. Some areas actually in the world have already gotten into 2019. I'm talking about the Chatham Islands, that is, which form an archipelago in the Pacific Ocean, 800 kilometers from New Zealand. It's already past midnight there, so of course they're into the new year. And New Zealand is about 30 minutes away from 2019. As you prepare to usher it in, of course, make sure you're with friends and family, and be safe. Have a good afternoon. I'll be back at 9 o'clock.